Hello everyone. Today I will tell you how to fabricate a custom tray. CUSTOM. Custom tray. Also called as a special tray. Okay. In week 2 you all saw these trays. Okay, they are metallic trays called as stock tray. Now these trays are available in the market and they have a fixed size and a shape. They are not according to any one patient. They have a fixed size and shape with size numbers U4, U3, U2, U1, etc. Same with the lower. Now, what is the procedure? When the patient comes to you for the first time, you take these trays and you make one impression using alginate, what all you practiced in week 2. When you make impression with alginate, you pour dental stone and you get a cast. So now you made impression of the patient's mouth, you pour the stone and you get a cast. This cast is called as a primary cast. Primary cast. So you have a primary cast for maxilla and you have a primary cast for the mandible. Now, in the last week I showed you anatomical landmarks. We discussed that we have supporting areas, we have relief areas. We want the pressure should be applied in the supporting areas and the relief areas there should not be any pressure. So how will we decide that? That we will decide when we will fabricate a special tray. That is why we need to make one more tray and make one more impression so that we can redistribute the pressure. We apply pressure in the areas we want to apply pressure and we relieve the areas where we don't want any pressure. So, you understood the procedure? Patient comes to you, you take stock trays, you make impression of the patient's mouth with alginate, you pour the cast, you get primary cast. Now on this primary cast, we make one more tray. Now that tray is according to this patient's mouth. Okay, so it is called as a custom tray. Means we have customized the tray according to the patient's alveolar ridge. What is the size, what is the width, what is the length, what is the height. It is like, suppose you go to a market to buy some clothes. You have two options. Either you buy a shirt or a t-shirt which is ready. You just buy and wear. The second option is you go to a tailor, give measurements and tell him to make it for you. That means he is customizing that thing for you. So that fits better. Same way we are customizing a tray or we are making a tray according to this patient now. So let's start fabrication of a special tray or a custom tray for maxilla. Like anatomical landmarks, we need 3 color pencils, a normal pencil, blue and a red color. So first we will mark the limiting structures what we told you in the landmarks with a normal pencil. So take your pencil and mark all the limiting structures on this cast. So we have labial frenum, labial vestibule, buccal frenum, buccal vestibule, hamular notch, posterior palatal seal area. You have to mark it with black color or normal pencil. Okay. Now take a periodontal probe or take a ruler and mark one line 2 millimeters above this black color line. Okay, so we take red color and mark a line 2 millimeter above this red color, this black color line. See here carefully. We are marking a line 2 millimeter above. Okay, so this is, I will show you by drawing it here. We draw a line this is the frenum going up like this. This is the first line. Okay. Now when we are drawing a line 2 millimeter above, it should go up if there is a frenum. It should go down wherever it is going. There should not be uneven markings. Okay. It should be 2 millimeter everywhere. So it is going like this, frenum coming. Your next line should be 2 millimeter above. It should go up with the frenum, go down in the sulcus. Do not make it flat like this. Okay. So as you can see in the cast now, this second line is 2 millimeter above and it is going up along with the frenum. This line will extend and posteriorly it will end in the hamular notch. It will stop here. Okay. Then anteriorly draw this line again up 2 millimeter above. Let it go above, up in the frenum areas. Take it back. See here carefully now. Can you see here? It is 2 millimeter above. It is going up with the frenum, going down into the sulcus, going up with the frenum. At posterior end, it is ending in the hamular notch. Okay, so this is the second line. Now we'll mark the third line using the blue color. Now this second line is called as the tray line. The first line is called as the sulcus line because it is in the vestibule. The second line is called as the tray line. Now we will mark the third line. The third line we will mark it with blue color. Again 2 millimeters above the red line. So we mark it like this. See this? If the frenum is going up, the second line is going up and the third line is also going up. So we maintain 2 millimeter distance, and at the back now it will not merge with the other lines. It will be 2 millimeter above like this, 2 millimeter away like this, and in the center you will be making posterior palatal seal area like this, which we marked in anatomical landmarks, and join here and here. So this is how your third line will be. This line is called as the line for the wax spacer. So we have three lines. The one in the sulcus is for the sulcus line. The one with the red 2 millimeters above it is the tray line, and the third line, which is 2 millimeter above, the second line is called as the wax spacer line. The second line will come and join the first line near the hamular notch. The third line will be 2 millimeter above, and in posterior palatal seal area it will be bow shape. Once you draw this much, then you have to draw 4 boxes here in the canine and first molar region. These are called as tissue stops. Tissue stops. What we will do, we will make 4 millimeter by 4 millimeter square like this in first molar and canine region on the both sides, and we have to make sure that they are almost symmetrical. One should not go ahead, one should not be back. Some book says you can make them 4 millimeter by 4 millimeter. Some book says you can make them 4 millimeter wide and covering the ridge. It will be like, if this is the ridge, your stop should cover like this. Now what is a tissue stop? I will tell you. Now this is the bone, or this is the ridge. This is our tray. Okay. Now this is the tray, this is the ridge. We are going to put impression material here, and then we will apply pressure when we are making the impression. Now impression material is soft. When we will apply pressure down on the tray, all the material will come out. So what we do, we put stops. This is the ridge, this is the tray. We make stops like legs of a table or a chair. So when we will put impression material here, we apply pressure. These stops will not allow this to go down. They will keep the space for the impression. So this is the function of tissue stop. This is the tissue stop. We make it 4 because if you see a table or a chair, you will find a table with 4 legs is more stable as compared to a table with 3 legs or 2 legs. So it will be like a stop. When we apply pressure, it will stop the tray from going towards the tissues. And what is the function? To maintain the space for impression material. It will keep this space so that impression material stays here. Okay. So once you draw this much, you have to show this cast to your supervisor first. Once they approve, then only you will go to the next step. Now let's make these lines for the mandibular also. So say things are same. Take your black color pencil, mark the tray line. The tray line will be your limiting areas. So this is the tray line. Okay. Now take red color pencil, mark a line 2 millimeter above the sulcus line. So this becomes your tray line. Posteriorly, join it in the retromolar pad area like this. Here also make it like this and join it here. Now come to the lingual side, join it here and make it 2 millimeter approximately above the first line. And join it in the retromolar pad. So you have a tray line with the red color 2 millimeter above the sulcus line. Now take your blue color pencil, mark it 2 millimeter above the red color line. This is your spacer line. Okay, the only difference here is in the buccal shelf area, the anatomical landmark, we know it is a primary supporting area. We will not cover it. We will leave it like this. Okay, we will not make the spacer on the buccal shelf area as this is a supporting area. On the lingual side, mark a line 2 millimeter above the red line. And leave the buccal shelf area without covering the tray, and then make tissue stops in the canine and first molar region. For mandible, either you can make in the molar region and canine, or you can just make it in the canine region, because posteriorly the buccal shelf will also act like a tissue stop. So it's your wish. You can make only 2 or you can make 4. as you want, because this area is also acting like a tissue stop area. Once you do this much, show this to your supervisor, then we will start fabricating the tray. Now, first step in fabricating the tray is to make a spacer. This is a modeling wax sheet. This is 1.5 to 2 millimeters. The one available in our college is 1.5 millimeter. Now this wax sheet will act like a spacer, means it will provide space for the impression material. So take your wax sheet, cut it half. Half wax sheet is enough for one. Okay, now you have to adapt this wax sheet on this cast according to this cast. Now this cast is not flat, wax sheet is flat. Now this wax sheet, if you try to bend it now, it might break. So what you do, take your torch, switch it on and make it soft. When you are making it soft, do not overheat the wax. The wax should not melt. Okay, you just have to make it soft. So keep on changing the position, keep on rotating the wax sheet. Okay, just make it soft. Switch it off carefully. Now the wax is soft. So place the wax sheet on one side, slowly press it on the cast and adapt it. Okay, do not apply lot of pressure in the center area, otherwise the spacer will become thin. So now you will see that we have adapted it. You can see here. Now it is extra. We have to cut it. So now cut it from where? Now you can easily see the blue color line on the cast through the wax. This is the spacer line, the topmost line. We intentionally made it with blue color so that we can see it from the wax. So take your carver and cut the wax till your blue color line. Can you see that now? Till your blue color, you cut the wax according to the blue color lining. So I will now cut it for you. Now this is your spacer made up of wax. It is 1.5 millimeter thick. There are different designs for spacer. You can see it on the internet. It is available in your manual also. For undergraduate level, we teach you full spacer. That means we have put the full spacer on the whole maxillary arch. There are different designs in which you put spacer only in the rugae and mid-palatal raphe, or you can put only in the mid-palatal raphe. We will not follow that at undergraduate level. We are teaching you a full spacer design. So this is the spacer. You can see it here. It is according to your blue color line. We have cut it. Now cut the space for the tissue stops. This is how your tissue stop will be cut. Cut all 4 tissue stops. Okay, so we have your wax spacer till the blue color line. We have 4 tissue stops. This is a wax spacer. Same way you have to do it for the mandibular cast. Take your wax sheet, make the wax slightly softer. Do not melt it, just make it soft. Keep on rotating it. Be careful, don't burn your hand and fingers, especially when you are wearing gloves. So it has become slightly soft. Take your cast and adapt it. Do not press too much, otherwise the wax becomes thin in that particular area. You will see it is adapted. You can see the blue color line here. Now cut it. Be careful because the mandibular ridge is narrow, so sometimes the spacer breaks. So be careful when you are cutting it. Till your blue line, you have to cut it. This is how you have to cut. This is your spacer. Okay, keep it here back, and now cut the tissue stops.